project manager here at Macomb County Planning and Economic Development in our Parks and Natural Resources Division. So I used to work at the Watershed Council. I started my career there, and I'm very passionate about our local environment, the watershed, and the river itself. I have a background in environmental science and urban plans. I started as an intern and worked as the stream leader lead. I worked as the watershed planner for a couple years, working on the water trail and coordinating water trail efforts and the Water Towns program. I think it started first out of the Water Towns program, you know, connecting the community back to the river, really realizing that our river had been forgotten about for decades, and how to kind of connect people back to that space, and how to use it for paddling. I think once the Water Towns program was established and that became kind of a pillar of that program, there was funding to do the original water trail plan, which we worked on in partnership, I believe, with Oakland County and Macomb County, to identify locations for paddling launches, look at the river conditions, and then we did a follow-up effort where we looked at installing universally accessible paddling launches. Paddling was pretty dangerous. There were a lot of log jams. Actually, another Amanda that works in our office, she had an instance where she got stuck in a log jam while paddling with the county executive, and he actually jumped in and saved her. So that kind of led to furthering the effort of, you know, how do we clean up the river. So we actually had a consultant come in and do, they were from Downriver, a group that does paddling, and they did our adaptive paddling workshop. And at that workshop, I was leading it, and someone was asking questions about paddling on the Clinton River, and she was like, the woman leading the adaptive paddling part was like, oh, well, you can't paddle on this river. And I was speechless because I'm sitting here as the representative from the Watershed Council that we're promoting paddling. You know, you can't just tell people you can't paddle this river. I think it was important because we were putting a lot of effort into restoration on the river. We were working closely with the area of concern to do habitat projects, which removed a lot of the log jams, and a lot of it created a safer environment for people to paddle, and I think it brings awareness to the river and helps people connect to it more, and continue to support the efforts of the Watershed Council. We worked closely with Macomb and Oakland County. We worked with each of the communities, bringing them all together, bringing the fire departments in. I think that was huge, getting their perspective from the first responders. That really led to the safety signage that's now installed. It's definitely been a lot of work with a lot of different partners, but everyone, I think, wants to see the river continue to get better, and more paddling opportunities. I'd love to continue to see all the accessible launches going in. I know there's another one coming in at Bud Park. I'd love to see a livery that operates along the whole river, working closely with the communities, so that we're all partnering together to provide a great experience for people who are either living here or coming to this area for tourism and recreation. I think that would be awesome. I'd love to continue to see the safety signage and safety efforts continuing, so that we can provide a safe paddling experience for users. The Conditions of the launches are much better now. There's a lot of, like I mentioned, the universally accessible launches, but even the ones that are not universally accessible, it's just easier to access and get to the river. I think it's easier to get access to a kayak now or canoe. A lot of people have them. I think that came out of COVID a little bit. But I think it's more accessible and easier for people to get to, and there's a lot of education and information out there, especially on the Watershed Council's website to help people understand what's going on in the river and how they can get to it and use it. There's a very active paddling group on Facebook that I've followed for years, and just to see the amount of interaction on that page grow, I think indicates how much more paddling is going on. Also here in our office, we see the river, and people, we frequently see people paddling in the summertime now, whereas for years nobody was paddling down here. I love paddling this lower stretch here. Like I said, because it's safe and easy. I would say my favorite memory was probably when I took my husband on a paddling trip from Clinton Township to, I think we went Bud Park to downtown Mount Clemens, and just to see someone who's lived in the area for so long and have no idea that this was even an option here. It's really cool. It was really cool to see him experience it. I can't wait to take my kids to experience it as well. I think it is a great asset for Macomb County. We have a lot of the river in our county. We have, like I said, various stretches of the river. I think it's a great tourism opportunity for the county to draw people to come visit here. It's also a great way to keep residents here. We have a program, an initiative called Make Macomb Your Home, and with the river and the paddling opportunities, that's just one more reason for people to want to make Macomb their home and want to stay here and live here. And the more effort we put into keeping the river clean and open, I think the more opportunities there are for people to get out on the river. I'm Amanda.